Custom Gravity Oddcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Custom Gravity Oddcast. And look, we've got video.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
I mean, hopefully, we'll see how it goes. It's our first setup. It's really ghetto. You can't see it, but it's bad.
If not, this will be cut out of the audio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, you'll hear the audio. I'll leave it in here to make us look like fools. But yeah, so what episode are we on? I can't remember. This is like 6 or 7.
It's episode 5.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Either
so.
way, we're getting going. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And here we're going to do a little shorter of a show. We're just going to kind of talk about a couple movies we saw. But before we get started, to get this out of the way, obviously this show is brought to you by the new book coming out by Custom Gravity, Earthchild. Definitely give that a look. Check it out. I'll have links here, all right here and here. Yeah, our social medias are at Earthchild Book. You can see what's going on with the book currently. Patreon, check that out. Help get this book going. Support us there. Patreon.com/Earthchild. And check out the company website, customgravity.net. And that's kind of like a big old directive for all the stuff we're working on. A little bio about us, because we're so interesting.
Yeah.
So with that out of the way, I guess we'll get going on our spoilers Rogue One discussion.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, hardcore spoilers. Only watch this
warning
if
here.
you were prepared to hear it all.
Absolutely. Only watch this if you've seen it.
The nitty-gritty.
We've both seen it. We went together, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really fun. Yeah, so again, one more warning before we get in. We have seen the movie. We will talk about it like you have seen it too. So we will be spoiling endings, deaths, whatever, plot holes, whatever's going on in that movie. So let's get going.
Just going, yeah.
Last warning.
First of all, I just want to say, like...
So let's do general thoughts. Like it, love it, hate it. What do you think?
Honestly, it's... I love it. I love the movie. The beginning was a little jumpy to get into it, but once it got into it, and like I understand why they did that now, thinking of it, because they were
like
trying
starting in her childhood or whatever.
Well, no, like that was fine. I thought that was awesome. By the way, let's just go from there. That was beautiful. That whole like setup of the blatant landscape, stuff's going on. The mother just kind of like, let the force be with you. Gives a little necklace, and then just goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot though.
Beautifully shot the opening scene.
Yeah, just that opening right
there.
The
cinematography in the movie is kind of great, and I love that it. Well, we'll say general for now, and then we'll get more specific. So you did love it.
Yeah.
I love it as well. I actually, the time I saw it with him was my second time. The first time I saw it, I really liked it a lot, but I was holding back. I was saying I'm going to think about this really hard because coming out of Force Awakens, I said I really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And then thinking about it more, the less I like Force Awakens, and I'm at a point now where I don't like the Force Awakens at all.
Yeah.
But no, after seeing it the second time, that cemented the fact that I do love this movie as well. I love how different it is.
Yeah.
I love how it almost doesn't even feel like a Star Wars movie.
Well,
which is fun because
that's what we get
enough Star Wars
yeah.
at this point because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so I get so much of it that I'm okay with a little bit different. And this is exactly what that movie did. It was just the right amount of different and just the right amount of the same that it totally worked for me.
Well, and they made it very apparent that this isn't going to be like another chapter of Star Wars that we're going to follow different characters on. Like, this is like, it happened, it led to this, like...
And I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I mean, people could complain that, like, oh, we know the ending, so why would we see it? But it's like, I enjoyed that. It's like, I do know the ending, but what led to
But
that?
you don't, though.
Because it's the story we all know, because it's in the opening crawl of A New Hope.
Yeah.
The secret, or the small band of rebels steal the Death Star plans, and it's like, that seems like a really quick thing you can just go through, like, oh, you read in sense, okay, they got it. But it's like, you really think about it, it's like, well, how did they do that?
Yeah.
And then this movie shows you, and I think they do it amazingly. I think it's really fun to watch.
Especially going back to what we said before, it really made me happy because I, right after watching that movie, wanted to go watch A New Hope. Because it literally, like, it made, like, in New Hope, you just hear about the little story, this brave group of people that have the plans for the Death Star. But this really, like, it made that whole struggle seem real.
It made you care.
Like the Jedi's, like we said, he kind of comes back in and piggybacks near the end of the war, and like comes in and saves the day. But it's like, I mean, they really showed how tense it was. I mean, the one scene when they're all together and they're with the rebellion, and everybody's going, like, let's end it. Like, how are we they're ready to like end the rebellion.
They were so
and
scared,
just go from there. Yeah, and it's like,
I love actually seeing that scene because when you think of the original trilogy, you see these rebels and they're all so gung ho to fight for the Empire.
Where'd they come from?
And you see their beginnings here, and it's like they weren't always so ready to do it. Obviously they wanted to fight the Empire because they knew they were bad people, but it's like they knew what they were up against. And they're like, they're so much stronger than us. We don't think we can win, especially at the point where they want to go get the plans on Scarif, I believe the plan's called. Yeah. Like, no, we're not doing this mission. We don't think we'll survive. I liked seeing that, actually, that the rebellion said no to, because you think that, again, the rebellion's already like, oh, whatever mission we need to do, we're going to do it, and we're going to survive.
We have this mission's intel where we have a plan ready for this.
Right? And this mission, or this movie really shows, like, no, the rebels weren't always so ready to do it because they knew the risks.
Even their code name, when they went to take off, because they didn't even get permission to do this mission. Yeah. It was like they went off and took a ship, and who are you? Oh, we're Rogue.
Yeah,
Rogue One. Like, it was just so...
I love how that scene, they just say, like, hey, you're not authorized to leave. What's your name? Rogue One. And then they just leave.
Yeah.
Like, how'd they get away? Yeah. But anyway.
Well, that's... let's go back to the beginning then. Characters.
Well, I guess at this point, we'll get full-blown spoilers.
Yeah,
so I think
let's just dive
everything before this point was non-spoiler? I hope not. But again, we said up front is spoiler, so we'll get everything out here. Sorry, what were we saying?
I mean, it was, like I said, it kind of was a little confusing in the beginning when you jump and it's like, oh, you're at this planet, and then now you're at this planet, but no, wait, now you're at this planet. But now I kind of understand that because they kind of did this thing where they did, like, the main character's backstory, because the girl's obviously the main character.
Right.
And then it kind of goes towards how this little group assembles until finally it's full shots of them doing their thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if this is what did it, but each character was so individual that, like, they were so interesting. I was interested in knowing each character, or you knew about them before having to know them. Like, I didn't need a whole backstory on one of these characters to know what they were about, you know?
Yeah, I felt like I knew these characters as well, and I'm seeing things online of, like, oh, this movie, the characters are underdeveloped, and I thought they weren't.
I saw one like that,
because they're underdeveloped in the fact that we don't live a day in each of their lives, so to say. Like, I'm going to compare this to Rogue One, because they're both modern Star Wars films. Where with Rey, we did see a day in the life of Rey. Yeah. She's taking taking parts from ships. She's selling them to fat guy Unkar Plot to get her portions or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did live in the life, but that was really boring. And I think the only thing that took us through that was Daisy Ridley, the actress. Yeah. She did a really good job in that movie, I have to say. But in this one, we see them going up in Rogue One. I mean, we see them going about their daily tasks as rebels, and then we sort of get hints at their backstory of what they've been through as they move along in their journey. And for me, that's so much more interesting than watching like Rey just sit around in the sand for a day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the story moves so much easier when you do that. Because the first, I don't know, let's say 30 minutes of Force Awakens is really slow.
Yeah.
Because minus all the parts where Kylo Ren's trying to get the plans from, or the whatever from the droid.
The droid, they're trying to find, or
minus that.
They crash.
Honestly, it's all really slow. Mm-hmm. And slow's okay, but nothing gets accomplished. You just see a day in the life of Rey versus in Rogue One, you see these people doing their jobs as rebels. And that's another thing I really liked was that some people this was like a job. Mm-hmm. Not everybody here was fanatical, but they knew the Empire was evil. But they're like, we do what we have to do, or at least they think they have to do it. Mm-hmm. And it was really nice to see that one scene towards the end, right before they all band together and go on their secret mission of Cassian Andor. He's like, yeah, we've all done terrible things, and we may not enjoy what we do, but we do because we think we need to. We think it's right, so we did it.
Well, let's talk about him for instance. Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, that was, he's a rebel soldier. He's there, he's trying to get intel. And the guards come up, and he totally just throws that dude under the bus, man. Like
I love that, really, because it shows, it reminds
me. He was a dark, like, character.
You know what it reminded me of? Of A New Hope, when Han Solo shoots Greedo. Because, this galaxy, people are trying to survive.
Yeah, they're not, play by the rule kind of guys.
Nobody's cut and dried, good or bad. It's like, obviously, he's a rebel, so he's a good guy. Yeah. But if he thinks he's gonna get ratted out because this guy, the guy was like a hypo, he's like a freak. He kind of freaked out,
panicking.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm not gonna survive this. So he shoots him. And he's like, I can get away now. And I thought, wow, because that speaks volume to his character versus him just sitting there talking about something or like just sitting in the sand doing nothing.
Or trying to cleverly, wittily get his way out of a situation.
Yeah, he didn't
it goes all right.
He didn't make a joke, or he wasn't, whatever stupid thing they did in Force Awakens. He did actions.
That was another thing. Let's talk about the quality of this movie. I mean...
What do you mean?
I was really amazed by the fact that when I was watching it, it didn't, like, one of the things that bothered me, and we can go on about the prequels and any other movie, but the original movie was more of like, I mean, people could argue this, but in my opinion, it's like an art piece. It's showing with what they had.
With the first movie?
Yeah, with the first movie, A New Hope. It's showing, like, with what they had to do, how, like, people love that movie, not just because it's a good movie.
It's my favorite
but
movie.
because the people making the movie cared about it and they made it. You know what I mean? Like, you get more care out of something when... Well, I know it's dumb to say, like, oh, the secret ingredient is love, but really, like, that shows...
Well, there was a sincerity to it.
Yeah.
They took it very seriously. Yeah.
And it's like, I got that for this. Like, this, it wasn't like... It didn't have to be great. Like, everything didn't have to be shiny and smooth and cool looking.
Yeah.
If anything, it was the opposite. Like, I really got from watching this, it took me back to a point in time when I was a kid, first discovering Indiana Jones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it really, like, brought me back to that first feeling, and it was really exciting to go through that again because I've been wanting something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, you don't need over-the-top graphics. I mean, they were on a set. It was an actual set, you know? It wasn't just a green wall.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, it was really... That really made it enjoyable for me.
Right. And speaking to the quality as well as what you said, I think, again, as a writer, I've got to look at everything from that standpoint. Mm-hmm. I think this is such a stronger script overall than The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are a few scenes we have some gripes with, and maybe we'll go into those later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just like story-wise and character-wise, I think this is so much stronger than The Force Awakens because I think... What people love about the Force Awakens characters is the actors that played them. Mm-hmm. The actors that played them were charismatic, good-looking. Let's not shy away from that. They're good-looking people, and they were exciting. Did I ever say exciting?
No.
Exciting. They're like fun, charismatic. Yeah, they seemed like they were having a good time doing it, which actually, in turn, took away from the stakes of the movie because everybody's joking, everybody's smiling, having a good time. We're also good-looking. We're in the Disney family, but in this movie, the characters seem more real in a Star Wars sense. Yeah. In a sense that these people live in this galaxy versus Rey, who is like an orphan, whatever, and it's like, who is she? Poe, who's just funny guy who smiles a lot and is okay. What's his character?
Well, see, that's
Finn, who's also funny, bumbling guy, and it's like it doesn't work. Yeah. So yeah, the script in this, I think, for this film is much stronger than Force Awakens. And again, we're going to compare Force Awakens a lot because these are both modern Star Wars
films. They're both
films.
recent Star, yeah.
And I think because other people are comparing them too, so I think it's fair for us to do it. And I think it's okay to compare movies.
Of course, we're not saying that Force Awakens was a horrible movie. Just an opinion, like you could argue, what was made just to get a movie out and what was made to be, you know what I mean, an actual great cinematic film. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like it feels like
I think both of these do have a sense because it is Disney and they bought Star Wars, 4 years ago. That there is a sense of like churning out this product. Yeah. But I think when you look deeper into the product, you can tell what has care in it and one doesn't. And I'm not saying Force Awakens doesn't have care in it, but they were lazy with some things, and the fan service and the look at, you remember that? Do you remember? And then there are instances in Rogue One of, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, but they didn't. But
some work, some don't. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Actually, we can get into that right now.
Yeah, let's go into that.
So let's talk. We're just going to take a section right now to talk about references. There are some great references. This movie is so well tied. Like you said, you want to watch A New Hope right after this. This movie ties in so well to A New Hope. Yeah. Especially that ending. Yeah. Like it's literally like
that ending was like the cream of the crop, man. That ending was just like, it was, your tension's rising and rising and rising, and then when they're all gonna die, and then this huge just entourage of fireworks left and right, bam, ships are crashing into each other, Darth Vader's murdering people, like, oh my god,
we'll get into that.
They're jumping from scene to scene, like, it was so, I mean, even that, like can I talk about it? Like, we're gonna go into that, like, it kind of ties in.
The scene?
Talk about, like Princess Leia. Like, even,
let's talk about
even that, like, I knew it was coming, like, and I was waiting for him, like, okay, there's Princess Leia, like, how are they gonna do this? And they did, like, the full shot, and she's like it was so beautiful, like, this is a new hope or something. I forget what she says, but like,
she says hope.
Yeah.
I thought, because what you're talking about, is Princess Leia, and they also did it with Grand Moff Tarkin. Sort of the facial technology. It's very noticeable to somebody, I think, if you're a little more attuned to it. There were points where it was distracting for me. Leia is definitely one of them. The second I saw...
Well, she was lighter, like...
Yeah, I think what they did with Tarkin was they sort of aged him up, which is opposite of what they usually do with it, is when they take an older actor and age him down, like Jeff Bridges in Tron, but that looked like a video game. But With Tarkin, it was a little smoother in some places than others.
So he wasn't a real guy, or he was a real guy?
No, he was.
Okay.
He was a real actor, and they digitally
made Tarkin's face on him.
They digitally mapped his face. Yeah. Well, the thing is, and the weird thing is, I think I told you about this after we saw it. Mm-hmm. The actor they hired to play that part looks pretty much just like Peter Cushing. But I think what they did was, again, just to age him up. Yeah. Just to make him look a little older, because obviously if you look in A New Hope, Tarkin's an older dude. Yeah. And this guy, he's a little younger. I think he still has like black hair, so it's like, how are you going to make that work? Yeah. I think they could have made it work. I think it would have worked better just on your eyes. Like, if you had been told it's Tarkin, you would have believed it more than just like if you looked just like it, but he looked like he was out of a Pixar movie. Yeah. Well,
I think that's one of the things too is interesting is they were definitely experimenting with ways to tie the two together.
And that's exactly what that was. It's an experiment. They want to try it out because we're almost there. Yeah. Because I think we were saying this before. In like 5 years from now, we won't even be able to tell when they do that stuff. We'll have actors risen from the dead, and we'll be like, "What? I thought he died a couple years ago."
Yeah, we've seen Chris Farley movies. He's not even around anymore. New ones,
which is kind of scary. That's kind of weird, but yeah. So again, it works in some areas, and in some areas, it's a little more noticeable. Yeah, but we're getting there with the technology.
What about the little Easter eggs?
Yeah, we'll keep talking about the references. So I want to talk about one that didn't work. Okay. There are a couple. Actually, I'll just clump them all together. There are a couple that didn't work just because it was a thing of like, hey, look at that. Do you remember that? And it's over. Yeah. Like, it didn't really have a point to the story. One was when they're on Jeddah, when it's Jin and Cassian. They're walking through the streets, and they run into the guy who, has got the death warrant on 12 systems. The guy with the messed up face and the guy,
Yeah, and we noticed Obi-Wan, that. Yeah, and his friend's even there with him, too. Yeah,
the guy Obi-Wan cuts his arm. Yeah. And it's like, okay,
hey, watch it.
Yeah, that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It didn't really serve anything, so it's like, okay, you remember that?
And he even looked a little younger, too, or something.
Yeah, even though it's only like a couple days before. Yeah. And I thought about that actually afterwards. I'm like, they're probably saying, "Oh, we got to get to Tatooine quick." Yeah, because it's like a couple days beforehand. Yeah. But another one that did not work, and this I think was the most like angering the movie got for me was the C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah,
cameo.
I didn't understand why. Yeah.
Now,
it was a short scene when they weren't.
If you want to talk about, they would have been there because they now belong to Bail Organa. But it's like they could have been on his ship. Like, why did they need to be in that exact moment? In that exact spot saying like, oh, here we go again, or whatever he says. I don't know. It was so unnecessary. And to be honest, it took me out. Yeah. But of course, everyone in the theater's like, oh, they started clapping because it's like, C-3PO, you remember him?
R2-D2.
He talked, So that one really bothered me just because that seemed like the most blatant, like, do you remember this? Yeah. Cameo / reference. Whereas the rest of them, the ones that do work, like in the third act, when the ships are all flying around, you got Red Leader, you got Gold Leader.
Red Leader one,
and they took, I don't know if you know this, I noticed it more the second time around, they actually took unused footage from A New Hope and put it in this movie.
Oh, that's cool.
So every time they went to Gold Leader or Red Leader, it was A New Hope footage.
Oh, that's really cool. And then, see, it had that feel to it.
Yeah, because the first time I heard it, the line sounded exactly the same.
You thought it was from the first one? Yeah.
Well, I knew they took the audio. The Red Leader standing by and the Gold Leader standing by.
But that was never before seen, though.
That sounded right.
Yeah.
So I think they took those lines from the movie, but then they took unused footage of the pilots in their chairs and put in, because it makes sense. They'd be there, right?
See, but that's what I want to touch back on this. I had a recent discussion with somebody about artistic. Like, in my opinion, this movie wasn't just a movie. Like, this was an artistic piece.
It really was.
And I don't mean that in the sense that, like, this movie's going to change the world, but just hearing that they used, like, they pretty much recycled footage just to make it as genuine, just to get you...
But cleverly and creatively, right?
Like, that's beautiful. So cool.
Yeah. Versus, again, here we go again, versus The Force Awakens, where they just steal shots from the original trilogy, and it doesn't make sense why they're there. And they steal the entire plot, but that's a whole other discussion. So other references that worked, there's another one, I can't remember it, though. But like pretty much the entire movie is just like they have these small little references to the original trilogy, and they work so well.
Well, how about even at the end? Like... When we're watching New Hope and they're blowing up that planet, we're just thinking it's an experiment. Like, they're just... Isn't that, like, how it starts off, is them firing off that thing? And, like, in the movie... Is that the reference in the movie, or is that a different
what
shot?
They do with blowing up Alderaan, right? In front of Princess Leia, I think they want to scare her. They're like, oh, we're going to show you what this thing can do.
But was that where they were on when they got the final plans, when they died? The main characters?
No,
that was a different planet? Oh, okay.
No, they were on Scarif.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just keep making up planet names.
Yeah. So. That was cool, though. I mean, to, like, see Tarkin, like... He really badass. Like,
very cool.
And the dude stuck on there.
And another thing too is, another prequel complaint is the politics weren't very good in the prequels. I think the politics in this movie within the Empire worked really well. I was really interested in that stuff because you see that this movie establishes that this one guy, Orson Krennic, was kind of the leader behind the Death Star construction. Yeah. He was sort of the planner, I don't know, engineer, whatever. He was the director. His name is Director Krennic. And I love seeing his power struggles between him and Tarkin, because once that first test on Jeddah, when it works, it destroys the whole city, Tarkin's like, oh, I underestimated your abilities or whatever. And he says, oh, okay, the Death Star's mine now. Yeah. And then Krennic's like, what? No, I worked so hard to build this. Like, it doesn't matter, it's mine now. I take it. Yeah, like, well, that's really cool.
He just gives him credit for it, too. He's like, great job. Like,
yeah, because the entire movie, he's talking to him like, oh, can you really build this thing? Yeah. You have a leak. Somebody leaked the plan or leaked a message out. Mm-hmm. And then it works, and he's like, oh, I guess you proved me wrong.
Thank you.
But then all of a sudden he says, it's mine now.
Yeah, right?
You can go somewhere else. That was really fun to see. The struggles within the Empire of sort of, going up in ranks. Yeah. And then I love right after that, because Krennic's so pissed off, that he goes to see, the man himself. Mm-hmm. He goes to try and get favor with Darth Vader.
That was beautiful.
Seeing that scene twice, it really put into the movie, like, it really showed me what that scene was all about. Because at first, I'm going to say it. At first, I freaked out because they went to see Darth Vader. Yeah. And I wasn't really paying attention to what they were saying. Yeah. But then the second time,
you paid attention.
The second time, I calmed down. I'm like, okay, what is the scene about? Because again, as you know, as a writer, I know every scene has to have a point. And the point of that scene was, so he gets screwed over by Grand Moff Tarkin, politically. He builds the Death Star. It's a massive success. And then he takes it from him. Mm-hmm. He basically wipes his hard work. He wipes away his achievement. So he's like, well, how do I get above Tarkin? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go see the man above Tarkin.
Lord Vader.
Or the man next to Tarkin. Mm-hmm. They're kind of equal, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go see Vader. So he goes, groveling to Vader like, hey, can I be cool again? Yeah. And Darth Vader's like, what are you kidding me? Get out of here. He just, he forced
not only that, like, the evilness in him. Like, you really, you know what I mean? Like, everybody kind of is like, oh, Darth Vader is secretly a good guy, just pretend to be evil. But, like, he is fucking mean in this.
This is the most evil you see Darth Vader. And it's so great. I think, because I was thinking about this earlier, not with you. Just like, I might be like standing in the shower, but it's like, oh, and of course he's back. Yeah. But like, I'm thinking about it, and it's like, I love seeing older concepts redone. There are some reboots I like, or like, what do you call them? Remakes.
Yeah, remakes. Yeah.
Like The Magnificent Seven. Mm-hmm. That just came out on Blu-ray. Go get it. Yeah. I like that movie. I just watched it last night because I bought the Blu-ray. I like it because I love the genre of Westerns, and I love the idea of them, but a lot of the older ones, like the 60s and early 70s ones, I don't think are well executed. Yeah. I don't think they're very good. Like, to be honest, I don't know how much hate I'll get for this. I don't like the do you know what I mean when I say the Man with No Name trilogy?
Yeah, of course.
With Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, those are the
Fistful of Dollars.
Legacy. Yeah.
Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, and The Good, Bad, the Ugly. Yeah. I've seen all those. I don't like any of them.
Really?
Because the scripts are bad. Mm-hmm. There's no through line through any of those movies, and I think the filmmaking for its time was the best it could get. Yeah. So anyway, wrapping this background, I love the idea of taking older concepts with a modern filmmaking approach. So when I saw The Magnificent Seven, I thought, oh, this idea of these 7 guys coming together to save a town just for money. They're not good guys. Yeah. What could they do with a modern filmmaking perspective on that? And I thought they executed it very well. Yeah. From a filmmaking perspective. I have
it on the DVR. I gotta watch it.
You gotta check it out. It's pretty good. And again, the execution, the direction is very good. That's why Django Unchained is one of my favorite movies of all time, because it's a modernly done Western, and I think it's so good. Mm-hmm. So anyway, wrapping it back around to Star Wars. Darth Vader, you always hear in the original trilogy he's this terrifying guy, but then I think the way it was always executed in the original trilogy was never like, it never showed that aspect of him very well. Because the scene I'm thinking of is in Empire Strikes Back, right after he tortures Han Solo, and he's in the hallway with Lando and Boba Fett. Yeah, I think like Lando's kind of backsassing him a little bit. He's like, because what does Darth Vader say? Like, lay on the Wookiee on my ship or whatever, and Lando's like, that wasn't part of the deal. What are you doing? Yeah. And it's like, this movie, Rogue One, shows that like, you should never do that to Darth Vader.
Well, that goes back to the shot that you were talking about when he goes to grovel to the guy, and Darth Vader's walking away, and without saying like it's yours, he's like, do this, do that, and the guy's like, oh, it's mine. It's mine. I have full control. And he gets him. Yeah.
I think because this is the most terrifying we've ever seen Darth Vader, and just like that scene was so well directed. Yeah. When they're, I think it's Mustafar, when they're there in his little castle, every single shot you see of Darth Vader, I was scared of him.
Yeah.
Because just the way it was shot. Because like when you look at the original trilogy, everything's kind of flat and like at eye level.
Yeah.
That's why Darth Vader's not that scary or intimidating. That's why the redemption kind of works at the end.
Yeah.
But like in this movie, you don't like. I could never see Darth Vader getting redeemed.
Yeah. Well, that's what I You kind of hit it on the nail on the head when we were talking outside of this, and you were describing it as Darth Vader's character. One of the things that makes him interesting is he's like a horror movie character. You know, you see him getting risen out of the vat of ooze, and that they did that beautifully too.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see his face, but you don't. But then you see his arms and stuff, and it's like, you know what I mean. And then quick to Darth Vader, and it's like, but he is, man. He's like a monster. He's out of a horror movie.
Well, I was saying that in reference to that's what this movie did so well.
Yeah.
Is that again the original trilogy? In A New Hope, he seemed like Tarkin's dog on a leash. He seemed like
he seemed like a
servant to everybody else. Where it's like, okay, he has this magical force power. He's got this crazy.
He's choking the guy, and Tarkin's like, I'm not Vader.
He's got this crazy lightsaber stick thing, and like it cuts people up, but we never really see what happens. But this movie's so well executed. Yeah, he's almost like Godzilla. Like you should be.
Dude, yeah.
He's like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason, all combined in one.
Yeah.
And I loved it because that's how you should feel about Darth Vader.
Well, let's just touch on the last podcast we had describing how they should reveal him. And
okay,
did
that. We'll get into the scene.
Yeah,
and I said to you, this is possibly the greatest scene I think I've ever seen in the entire Star Wars.
Yeah, that was
realm.
Amazing.
So yeah, the scene where Darth Vader is Darth Vader.
Yeah,
he does.
You know why he's Darth Vader.
That scene was executed so well, and I think for huge Star Wars nerd sweaty fans, they might see that as like unnecessary, but I think it was totally necessary. If you look at it,
they didn't go overboard
because
it wasn't like 20 minutes of him.
I think they went overboard. Oh yeah, overboard in the sense of time. Whereas like if you're talking about the prequels, you had a duel that went on for 15 minutes, and like by the end of it, they're winded, and you're like, this is just an acrobat show. Like it's not really a fight. But in this thing, they went overboard in the sense that the terror, the fear that you felt watching this was so high, but it was a quick scene.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe 7, 8 guys in there, and he gets through them really quickly, and it's already over.
Yeah. Well, even when he first enters the room, the guys are trying to get the door open, and then everybody stops. It's
slow.
Quiet.
Yes.
And they look back, and they're like,
again, it's like a horror.
Yeah.
It's like a horror movie. Because think like of any good scene in the Friday the 13th movies, where it's like, how are those executed? The kids are running around, they hear a noise all of a sudden, and everything stops.
Yeah.
And like they turn around, there's nothing there.
Enter the bag.
And all of a sudden the door opens. Yeah. And it's like there's nothing there. But then he comes in. It's like it's a slow build. That's how you build fear. And they did that so well. And
then they're shooting. He's freaking when he grabs all the guns, like he's not doing Arab. You know what I mean? Like he's limited with his movement.
And I love
it's still very like throwing it on the wall, shoots. I love
how they executed that. Yeah, because. They could have gone prequel with it, where it's like, look how cool the lightsaber is. And it's like, but
he could have just force pushed dudes all up against the wall and killed them one hit, and instead he like pulls their gun. He messes with them.
He was a little fancy,
But
I think that was just executed so well. And obviously they would not have executed any other way besides they're in the dark completely, and the red's the only light you see.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was
the
so
right
cool.
way though, because they could have They could have done that.
They could have.
They didn't.
They could have done something else.
Yeah.
But this is the best they could have done, I think.
Well, even that, like, it really opens up how big the struggle was. I mean, that dude's like, after that point, he knows he's dead, and he's just take the desk, like he's yelling at the guy, just take the desk. Like,
it really shows
it was
you
just like the struggle, It
really shows you the sacrifice these people made for the rebellion, and it makes it heightens the original trilogy because it's like, wow, these people really fought hard and died for something they believed in.
Well, see, that's one of my favorite things too. Is we as people. We not even that, like, as a business perspective, if you want to create more movies, generally your main character lives through the first movie.
Sure.
I mean, he defies odds and goes on to but there was real loss here. Like, each character had something to lose, Even the robot. Like, when he went, I remember sitting in the theaters going, he's going to make it out.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, obviously, I went into the movie thinking none of them are going to make it. Yeah. Because there is no sequel to this movie. Yeah. Well, there is. It's called A New Hope, and none of them are there. Yeah. So, obviously, they're all going to die. But I thought the way they all went out was so good. Yeah. It was so heroic, and you felt the stakes in it, too. Because it's not just like, when Qui-Gon dies in The Phantom Menace, you're like, okay, we don't really know who this character was, but now he's gone.
We're supposed to care about him?
Yeah, what does that do? Yeah. Like, how does that impact the galaxy? But in this, you saw, these people, again, they fought for what they thought was right to the bitter end. Mm-hmm. Whether you got blowed up on a beach or you get cut down by Darth Vader. It's like,
or let's talk about how they brought back that thing that made it so interesting in the first Star Wars movie. Is this like the Force? Like, let's compare it to the Force Awakens, where Rey, once she realizes she's Force sensitive, all of a sudden knows Jedi mind tricks and shit like that, and she just, is a master there. Even when she's fighting Kylo Ren, who's had years of experience, she manages to upper hand him.
There's people have been calling Rogue One like a Star Wars fan film.
Mm-hmm.
I think The Force Awakens is more of a fan film.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the references are so much heavier and so much more poorly handled in The Force Awakens versus this movie, because you're right, the Rey just waking up to the Force and automatically being a master of it and able to beat Kylo Ren is like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
I mean, even Luke Skywalker loses his hand and gets his butt kicked when he first fights Darth
Vader. It takes him 2 movies to figure out what the Force is. And think about the time between Empire and Jedi. He was training. I think there's like a year span there. He was training the entire time. Yeah. But no, Rey gets it in an afternoon.
Mm-hmm. And this one...
you know what that does? Stakes lowers.
Yeah, exactly.
Immediately takes it away because it means nothing.
Well, she's tougher than him now.
Exactly.
So she's going to beat him.
So then so what's so scary about Kylo Ren now?
Yeah.
Because there are moments... I like Kylo Ren as a villain. Yeah. I think he works because he isn't Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. I think people wanted another Darth Vader, but I'm glad he isn't.
Well, even his character.
I'm glad he's like emotional and he kind of like can't handle things. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. But then all of a sudden he loses a lot because, again, Rey can beat him immediately.
Yeah.
Like what's the point of, that's lame.
But that's like, who's the character who's Force sensitive in this? I forget his name. He's the guy with the bow staff. He's the blonde guy.
His name is Chirrut Imwe.
Chirrut Imwe?
Imwe? I-M-W?
He, if anything, was like, he was the glue that held this together, man. Because you didn't, but it showed that, like, kind of to support your argument, that a lightsaber isn't what a Jedi is. You know what I mean? Like, this guy the whole time, but not only that, it played on, because when you watch the original New Hope, the Force was like, it was like religion, it was like this thing that people talked about, and, some people believe it,
Well, at that point in New Hope, it was a myth.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
The only person who could use it was Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm. And even this guy, he's not doing Force pushes, lifting rocks or anything. He's literally just going on, dare I say it, faith. Like, by repeating his little thing, the Force is with me. I will be.
I'm one with the Force. And the Force is with me.
Yeah. And
that was really interesting.
He's going through, and he does this thing, and you're like, does this guy really do it, or does he just is he a big fan? And it's like,
I think he does have some sort of Force connection.
Well, obviously, dude's shooting down, TIE fighters with his staff. He's just.
Yeah, because like you see that scene on Jeddah where he takes out the stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. It's like a Daredevil-esque kind of scene. Yeah. Where he like hears the sand moving and he hears the. Does he use the Force, or is it because he's blind? He's good at hearing. I don't know. He's got to. But then that was really cool to see the Force treated as, again, a religion, not just like a superpower. Yeah.
But even then, though, it was inspiring again. In the same way that Yoda was inspiring when you saw this little creature lift a TIE fighter. Like when he goes into that final scene before he dies, and you go, oh, he did it. Boom, and he dies. Yeah. And you're just like, what? Yeah. Like what? And then his buddy comes in there and just like,
think of...
It was inspiring.
Think of had he walked to that switch, turned it on, and then walked back. Yeah. How lame that would have been.
Exactly.
Because like, the Force is the answer to everything now.
Exactly.
But no, he makes it, and it's like, wow. But then blown up.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa. Because again, that raises the stakes again, because you think, again, like you said, you think your heroes are going to make it, because that's how movies work. Yeah. But then they start to not.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. Like, I think the first one to die is the droid. And you're like, oh, well, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think, is he the next one, or the guy in the ship, Bodhi?
No, because I think he dies before then, because he has to turn the lever on.
Right.
And then the guy has to connect the cable.
So the blind guy dies, and you're like, whoa.
And he's
and then the guy with a machine gun. He's like, he thinks he's going out heroic. He's shooting all the stormtroopers, but he gets hit. And you're like, oh, and he keeps getting hit, and he blows up with a grenade. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then Bodhi, he gets the connection made, and I love that how he goes out. It's so that was so emotional to me. I felt that because he was like, he defected from the Empire. He's like, I'm gonna do this. He helps the rebels. Like, oh, I made the connection. He plugs it in. I got it. And all of a sudden you hear, ting, ting, you hear a couple times the grenades in there, and you think, okay, somebody's going to throw the grenade out. Yeah. Everybody's got to live, right? Mm-hmm. But then no. Yeah. It goes off and you're like, oh my.
Well, I remember looking at you in the theater going, wait, was that the ship he was in? And then going, wait, they're not cutting to him anymore. Wait, the story's still going on. He's dead.
Yeah, like, the ship blew up. Yeah. Whoa. And then I really like how they ended Cassian and Jin.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I didn't want them to escape either. Yeah. I thought, because they're both like, they both can't walk. So... they just kind of go on the beach and like, we did it.
Well, and to be honest, they made a sad moment a happy moment. And that's what I think I mean with that Princess Leia thing, is you go feeling all these emotions. All these people literally just died. Like, they just died for what they believed in, whatever that may be. And then, like, because of that, it jump starts into these characters that we know and love in their, generous story. But it's like, it's sad now. Like, if anything, I appreciate these characters more now because of this story, Rogue One, and the things that these people went through. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the greatest compliment you can give this movie, is that it heightens A New Hope so much.
Yeah.
And that's so cool, but
it's a good addition to go back towards. Like
that's a good thing to say, is that this is such a great addition.
Like, I would feel so happy watching this movie than following through to New Hope and not feeling like I missed out on anything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because there's such a gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. This filled it in really well. I think. I don't think we need like a after Revenge of the Sith, but before Rogue One. We don't need that movie. I think we have what we need here, and it's good. But I think the coolest thing about this movie is that it was a risk, it was an experiment, and I think personally it paid off. Yeah. I think it really did, because everything they accomplished in it was so great, and the filmmaking is really top notch. Even
what was the droid's name?
K2SO.
K2SO? Yeah. I had heard rumors before it came out that he was going to be like an HK-47 for those that are familiar with the games.
Yeah, the Old Republic.
Which was really exciting, because I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, he was my favorite character in that game, you know, and you don't know if he's going to turn around and shoot you in the back when you're not paying attention. But that's really, I was worried because I thought it was going to be like kind of over the top cheesy lines, but he had a great writer. Like, that robot was just like, he was hitting it every time,
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, morbid, just
again, going back to the scripts, is that the humor in this movie works so much better than The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is the funny guy. Poe is funny, Finn is funny, the little ball droid's funny, Rey is funny in sort of a sarcastic way, Han Solo's got a couple funny lines. It's like, not everybody is funny. And that movie did that so well, where it's like, I don't think Jin says a funny line.
Oh, yeah.
Cassian's like a pretty serious dude. He's a really heavy dude. K2SO's the funny guy.
Yeah.
And it's funny in a way that...
Cynical.
Yes, he's a very cynical guy. He's a very cynical robot, but it was clever humor. It was I kind of compare him to C-3PO, but a little smarter in that, he's kind of... Most of the funny things he says is like, he's like, bitching about things. He's like, well, I don't want to do that. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, each of his lines are kind of like, his lines are clever versus Force Awakens, where everybody's just kind of goofy and nobody takes anything seriously, and that's where the humor comes from.
Well, not only that, C-3PO is like, he's straight up, a service droid. Like, he doesn't do anything unless someone tells him to, or he's following R2-D2 around.
He's a protocol droid.
Yeah, protocol.
All he does is translate.
But this guy was like he said, they're like, do this. He's like, I'm not doing that. And he goes and ends up helping out. And even I think if anything, one of the things I appreciate about the Star Wars universe is the droids. Like, you kind of get the sense, like, they're not just robots. Like, they're living things like people are, especially the main ones that they show anyway. And I really felt that with him, especially in that final scene when he's just, like, pulling levers and boom, shoots dudes as they're coming through the door. Like, he really felt like, you felt the struggle with this robot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really even it's not even really there. Like, it's just a voice over, covered by CGI and stuff. But, like, it really, like, you cared for this thing near the end, You're just like, oh, man, he's getting killed.
I wonder how... they remember, because he's a, what do they say? He's an Imperial droid, but somehow they like reprogrammed him.
Yeah, they reprogrammed.
I want to know how they got him.
Yeah,
like, how do they reprogram him? Maybe that'll be like a comic.
Well, and you see other ones like him too.
Yeah,
because he killed. Well, and that's like, they're like, how are we gonna break in? And they're like, no. Or when he's arguing his usefulness and they want him to stay on the ship or something, and he's like, I'm a droid. Like, I'm one of their droids. Yeah. Like, what better of a disguise? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that'll be like a comic where they talk about K2SO.
Well, but see, that's the thing though. I think if I were to say, I'm pretty sure people agree with me too, that instead of the prequels, if they would have did what they did with the animated series, that was like, I saw a joke about it where someone made like a funny little cartoon video with Star Trek arguing with Star Wars, and Star Trek was like, oh, but what about your prequels? And Darth Vader was like, everybody knows that the animated series was the real prequels. It's like, that, like, you didn't need 3 movies. Like, that series, did it justice.
Well,
like,
what the animated show did was focus on the characters.
Yeah.
You got to know the characters were.
Yeah. You got to actually see all these great times you had heard about.
The prequels is about fighting and lightsabers. And,
So, but like, this is this is a beautiful addition. Like if my advice to someone just getting into Star Wars and you want to like know the story from beginning to end, start with the animated series, go on to Rogue One, and then follow through with New Hope.
I'd be excited to sort of talk to somebody who's never seen a Star Wars movie, and Rogue One is their first Star Wars movie. Because then I think this movie leads so well into A New Hope, and I'd be excited. Of course, we've both seen it, so we know sort of where it goes. But I would be excited to see somebody finish Rogue One and see if they're like, well, where's it go? I want to see what happens next. Do they got the plans? I think. Do they make it? What happens? And then you meet Luke Skywalker, and you're like, oh, so this is who we're following now. And it's like I would be really excited.
And you learn more about the Force, that this goofy little blind dude with the sticks talking about the whole
that's
time.
true. Because they kind of build up the myth fact.
Like if the Rogue One came out before any of the other movies, and this was your first view, like kind of like how like this movie compared to the first one, it holds up. Like it does a good job. Other movies you could say otherwise, but like if this, like how they did with the Ghostbusters, when people were like, well, if the girl Ghostbusters came out before the boys one, we might appreciate it more, but because we have Ghostbusters, this one, seems more like an agenda-based thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like kind of like this, like that, I don't get that from Rogue One. Like I don't think that, like, I think they're both great films. I think if anything, they're both on good, you know what I mean? Like I'm interested to see if someone saw New Hope, or Rogue One before New Hope, what, you know what I mean? Like you were saying, what would they think? Like would they think that like it was a downgrade, or like, sorry.
They probably be like,
without looking
it looks
at
a
the
lot
differences.
different.
Quality.
This one looks a little newer, and this one looks a little older.
Yeah, but take it for what it is.
Yeah, I would be. Now I got to find that person because I don't know where they're at. So I guess is there anything else we want to talk about Rogue One? I think covered pretty much everything. Is there anything that?
Oh yeah, I want to talk about something.
Something that really bothered you?
Yeah, it's something that really bothered me. It was really honestly the only thing that bothered me about this movie. Is. I've been saying it before, and I really don't think Forrest Whitaker had a place in that movie. Like I just don't think. I think that whole
I think I wanted to forget about him, so I did. And then you bring him up, I don't know.
Like even his character, he's just like.
I think in the beginning he kind of worked in the fact that he raised Jyn after she lost her parents, and then because that gave her the backstory of she's a badass fighter. Right. Because
already. You know already. Like you don't see her kicking ass and go, well, why couldn't she do that? You know already. Like
because she was raised by the military.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then the next time we see him when he's got the full head of hair and he's like
he's got this little breath masky thing,
being the goofy character.
He's like Jabba the Hutt. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Jabba the Hutt.
Kind
like
of.
You get these little raider dudes bringing them into the scary guy in the mountain.
But he didn't work for me.
No.
I think he could have worked if they toned it down.
Yeah.
But upon viewing it the second time, I think the first time I saw the movie, I thought the first half was a little slow and didn't work. But then seeing it again, I paid more attention, and no, it does work. I think the first half is pretty strong.
Yeah.
But he is the weakest part.
Well, but like even if they would have done something where you see him save her, and he's the one that saves her from the thing, and then she goes into her monologue about how she hates him because he really just like ditched her and shit like that. But like I think they didn't even need to show that whole scene of them going to his place, and then all of a sudden the Death Star just does a minimal little attack on the city. It's not doing a full blown attack.
Single reactor.
Yeah, and then they get away. That was the only part that was hoaxy to me. Is it was like, oh, okay, well, it's destroying slow enough for them to do what they need to do and fly away. You know what I mean?
When you think about it, how would the Earth move? I don't know. But,
I don't know.
Yeah, but
like his character would have been well served if it was something like when she meets the rebellion and they were like, he was part of the rebellion and then he left to do his own thing, and sadly he was killed, but these are some like, and she's going through his shit or something and finds a thing from his dad, or one way or another it was saved for him.
I don't know, maybe
because like his whole purpose was just to give her
he was the middleman.
Yeah, that's all his purpose was.
I think if they had found a different way to get her the hologram, or maybe if they just toned down his character.
Maybe it was like the necklace
because he was like a weirdo crazy guy. I'm like, can he just be like he can be crazy, but I think just the way he played him was bad.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you're a terrorist for that long, maybe you've gone a little crazy, but it's
like, well, he's a terrorist guy, and then all of a sudden he's just so ready with death. Like he's just ready to die there because he served his purpose, so he's ready to die.
I don't know why he was like ready to give up at that point, but another scene. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a single scene that I think this is the worst in the entire movie. We talked about the best with Darth Vader. The worst is that weird tentacle monster that Forrest Whitaker sits on the Imperial pilot. Do you remember? It's so quick.
Yeah,
do you remember that thing?
Yeah, and it like to extract information from him or
that
something.
Was so awkward.
It's just
that was the Rathtar scene. Do you remember in The Force Awakens with those little balls of poo that roll around?
Yeah.
That was this scene.
Okay.
That scene in Force Awakens was this scene in Rogue One.
Okay.
Like, it was so unnecessary, so jarring.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I hate that scene in Force Awakens because it's so. I mean, the tone they make in Force Awakens is so lighthearted and bad, but then like the serious sort of yet jokey at the same time action scene happens with these little meatball things, and it's like the scene is terrible in Force Awakens. This one. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But at least the tone was consistent.
Yeah.
At least
it was intimidating.
At least they made it scary.
Yeah, like he's sitting
like,
in this chair and this weird little thing's coming up closer. But
but still, it was kind of weird.
They couldn't have just brought in a torture bot.
But did they even need the scene?
Yeah.
I don't think they needed it at all.
But that's the whole thing too, though. Is the guy when they bring him in there? Isn't that what he's saying? Is he's like, I was looking for you. Like I got information for you, and they're like just tortured dude anyway.
Yeah,
like
he seemed like
we'll find out what you know.
He seemed like an honest dude.
Yeah, like when he first came in there, it seemed like he had already decided to switch sides, and they were just like, well, I'll torture him anyway. Even the one dude, like they were gonna fuck up the other dudes until they found out that she was the girl, that he needed.
Yeah.
And she snuck her way in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only thing that bothered me.
That's a small thing.
Yeah,
again,
small thing.
And this scene was much quicker than the one in Force Awakens. That was like an entire 10-minute thing of like, please end this stupid kiddie show. But so I think
I think we
I think we pretty much covered everything we can about Rogue One. So wrap it up. So sort of again, general thoughts and maybe a score out of 10.
Definitely, like I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Just because, like I said, like some people may argue it, but I really think that this movie is an artistic piece. Like it's very, artistic. Like the people that worked on it may have made it for money and for fans, but there was heart, like at the core of it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is as much as you can ask from this because again, Disney is just a giant machine right now.
Yeah.
And this could have been a lot worse. Of like, okay, we have the script, let's just make it. Sort of like the prequels, like A camera, B camera. Let's just file in our actors and get it done, and then we'll make explosions later. Whereas like no, there's a lot of care put in this, and it's like they made the best movie they possibly could. Yeah, with the exception of minor things.
Which really, like, if you think about it, like they really did need this because if this movie had bombed, like I don't think anyone would have been excited for the Han Solo movie. Not that many people are.
I'm not really excited. Like, it's like I don't care.
Yeah. But it's like for new stuff to come. Like what I really liked about this is it kept old characters still alive. Like if you're thinking from a business perspective and you're like, okay, we have this universe, how can we get the most out of it that we possibly can? It really reminded you of why. Like, because other than that, you see Darth Vader, he's this dude who looks like he's wearing a like comforter, like old spacesuit material, you know what I mean, with a little button pad on his chest. Yeah. But then seeing him in this movie, man, like it really brought back why, like he's the one, like it's fucking Anakin Skywalker, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because it's not a perfect film. Again, we've talked about a couple things that didn't work. But I think everything that it did for the Star Wars universe was so incredible. Because, again, being such a diehard fan, this is the sort of change and the different film that I wanted.
Yeah.
Because the tone of it is so different from anything we've ever seen in Star Wars that I was so excited that it is like it's a dour tone. It's not exactly a happy one, but I was excited about that because, especially seeing Force Awakens last year, that was such a happy for no reason tone. Everybody's joking, everybody's laughing, everybody's smiling. This one took things so seriously, and I really felt for the rebellion, for the specific characters in the film, and I think this is one of the strongest third acts in any movie I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. The third act.
As soon as they get to Scarif.
Yeah.
This movie just keeps going up and up.
Whatever you want to say about the beginning, the third act, like, brings it all home, man.
I think, there's this old sort of saying in filmmaking land, I guess you want to say, is have a better ending than a better beginning. Because if you have a boring beginning, your audience is going to stay there. They'll be like, okay, that sucked, but the ending, that was incredible. But like if you start out with a bang and then you slowly go downhill, your audience is going to hate it.
Yeah.
So I think for anybody that says it's a lackluster beginning, the ending totally makes up for it. But again, I think the beginning is strong still. If
it's
you
necessary.
Really but I think with this movie, I'd be curious to hear about casual Star Wars fans. I'm not sure how inside baseball this movie is. I'm not sure how deep into Star Wars you need to be to get a review of like 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. I'm concerned because I see reviews again and people are like, it didn't feel like Star Wars. It was like this, and it's like, yeah, but hardcore fans like you and me, we wanted that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much casual fans wanted that.
But see, that's what exactly.
But then you see
yeah.
Okay. But then you see the box office. It made $155 million.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Well, because the majority of people who are seeing it are like whatever dimension of or whatever amount of fan you want to consider them. Like it is really like. Like we needed this, man. We needed it. I think it felt like it straight up. It was like kind of like when you got Battlefront, and you were like, okay, I don't even care that I'm a Jedi. I just get to play different dudes as different soldiers in this war, and I just get to play in these wars. It's like that's what this was. Like it really brought back. It's not like Wizard Man and his light up stick and the adventures of his friends. Like it's Star Wars. Like they're in the middle of a war. Like this isn't just political events. Like it kind of gets too political. You know what I mean? And it's like
Rogue One does or
no, not Rogue One. Like
other movies. Or...
Yeah, like just like in the universe in general. Like
it can.
And it's like this is like a war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to see like one of the things I was thinking of before I went in there. Not to go on too long, but I was like, what about like camouflage? Like you see these dudes on Endor and they're bright white in the middle of trees and shit like that. And like they're not really doing it. But then you see in this one, dude, they got different colored stormtroopers. They got sand one. Like it was really like they're like, okay, this is a war that they're in, man. This is
and that's really cool because when they first announced this movie, the director said it's called Star Wars for a reason.
Yeah,
and he said it's gonna be like a war film, and he sort of quoted Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, and I definitely felt that. In this, especially that third act. Yeah, that's one of the best executed, like. Battle things
dude,
I've ever seen.
Everywhere. So you just main character. Oh, he saves the day, but he dies. Oh, and then he does it, but he dies. And then finally, they're like, even back on the ship after they do all that, the dude goes, "We have the information. Let's get out of here, boys." And they go to leave, and then bam, Star Destroyer right to the side of the ship. Yeah. Like, oh my god, they did! Like, oh, dude,
jump to hyperspace. And
into it, man.
And I thought they did something really clever with the Star Destroyers when they disable the one, and then they bring in that Hammerhead ship.
Oh yeah,
and they ram it. I'm like, that's so clever. Because I'm glad, because usually in space things, anytime something touches something else, it immediately explodes. Yeah. But no, it's like, no, it rammed it and it made sense. That was really cool.
Like a boat. It was like a naval battle, you know?
Yeah, so 9 out of 10. Again, there are small things that don't work, could be better, but overall, it's the film I really wanted and needed.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy. Yeah, definitely needed.
I've seen it twice. I'm going to see it again.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more times. I want
to see it again. Yeah, just to
see that
better soak.
Just to see Darth Vader on the big screen again, because I love it so much.
It is. Good job, man. I'm really, and I'm glad. Like to the people that are saying like this doesn't feel like a Star Wars film, like I'm glad because like this like. It does, but I think it shouldn't.
It does, but it also diverges where it needs to.
Well, what is a Star Wars film? Is a Star Wars film where the main characters make it out of
some kind of ship battle?
Yeah, they make it out of odds that are against them, and they do it in some way that's clever and funny.
And there's a lightsaber fight.
Or do you want to? Yeah, and there's a lightsaber fight. Or are you talking Star Wars where the underdog beats the odds? But in a realistic way.
Look at every single, excluding Rogue One, every single Star Wars film, the third act has a lightsaber fight in it. Mm-hmm. This one doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah,
it's like finally
we don't need it.
Because like why they all end the same way.
Only one dude had a lightsaber.
Phantom Menace,
and it was the only one.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. They all have a lightsaber battle, including Force Awakens. Yeah. They had one because they don't know how to end Star Wars films without lightsabers hitting each other.
Yeah.
But this one, like, no, they took a chance. They did something different, and I think it paid off. Tenfold.
Only one person needed a lightsaber in this movie, and. He got it.
And it made sense. And he used it appropriately and all the, this, that, and the other thing.
So if you guys didn't hear our recap on this before we watched the movie, definitely go check it out and see what you feel, if you agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, with what we were talking about before then and then now.
Yeah. It's funny, maybe I'll go back and listen to it and see
I did.
what we said, and then now I'll listen to this episode and be like...
Dude, well, like I said, I was just going into it, man. It was almost like the people who had made that movie had listened to our podcast and secretly did not click like or anything.
I think they listened to a lot of things. Maybe. I hope so. They did a lot of things that, again, I think hardcore Star Wars fans wanted and needed. Mm-hmm. Because
just for cinema, man, it was a great day.
The more you think about Force Awakens, the more the hardcore fan thinks about it. The less they like it. Because I'm hearing a lot. Because I watch a couple of shows on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They're like the hardcore Star Wars fans their love of Force Awakens is waning.
Yeah.
And it's because they're noticing the flaws.
Yeah.
And it's a copy. All the things that are wrong with it anyway. And this is the film that all of them and me and you know, you're hardcore too. We needed, because it is different.
Yeah,
it's time for something different because we didn't just want A New Hope again. We didn't just want Empire Strikes Back.
Well, not only that, like look at it this way: you have the same formula for both movies. Force Awakens, I'm talking about, in this movie, but each one executed it differently. Force Awakens was like, hey, let's take the premises of the first movie, but make a different movie, but based off the premises of the first movie. And then Rogue One was, hey, let's take an incident in the first movie and show you what happened. So it really felt like a new movie.
Yeah,
you know?
I have to disagree in the fact that, so look at it this way. Rogue One, Force Awakens was episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
That means the new...
Yeah.
But nothing was new about it.
Exactly, that's what I mean, yeah.
So, and believe it or not, Rogue One, which is a prequel, and it leads up to literally 5 minutes before A New Hope starts, accomplished more and did more new things than Force Awakens did.
Yeah.
And Force Awakens is supposed to be new.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's like shameful.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't like J.J. Abrams as a filmmaker.
So we'll see how they pull this off in the next, what's the next one's going to be called?
The next
which follows Force Awakens.
Episode 8?
Mm-hmm.
No title yet.
No, not yet.
No. But apparently I just heard right before I picked you up, actually, we're getting an episode 8 trailer in spring.
Oh, cool.
Which doesn't make sense. Well, I guess it does because we got a Force Awakens trailer about a year out. But that was the first Star Wars movie back. So I guess this one will be a little slower with it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So I guess to wrap it all up.
Yeah, let's wrap it all up,
10 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, man, I liked it a lot.
Definitely,
I really did, yeah.
Definitely see it. Even if you're a casual Star Wars fan, I think definitely check it out just to have your own opinion of it. Because, you know, there's those movies out there that they say, don't even see it, it's so bad. But it's like, definitely see it, have your own opinion of it.
It was a fun movie. It really, like I said, it sparked that feeling of a kid like watching an Indiana Jones movie. It was the right equation, or it was the right formula of fun and serious. You know, it was good.
So definitely check it out.
Definitely check it out.
If you haven't figured by now, we recommend it.
Yeah, that's our opinion.
So very cool.
Yeah, dude. Well, we managed to talk about Star Wars for an hour, so.
Oh, shocking!
Right?
Very shocking that
I'm
I was able to
surprised
do that.
only just an hour.
Yeah. So I guess we're out of time.
Yeah.
We were gonna discuss because he'd finally seen X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, we'll save it.
But we're out of time, so I guess we'll save it for next show.
Yeah, and we'll talk about our. Since we have seen the Spider-Man trailer now, we didn't go into that because it wasn't out when we did our last one.
It wasn't?
No, it wasn't out yet. Because remember, it was supposed to be played during this.
It was last. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. So
we'll
go into that.
We've definitely seen that. So we got a couple things to talk about.
Yeah.
I'll have seen Assassin's Creed by then too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wanted to see it yesterday.
Ooh, we got that to look forward to.
I want to
that's
see
exciting.
I want to see yesterday, but plans didn't work out. So
that's exciting.
So we got a couple things to talk about. It'll be a little more.
It'll be a little later, but
it'll be a little more variety in the next show.
Yeah,
because this one obviously Rogue One. And we wanted to try and cut the show in half. But that didn't go so well.
Yeah, no. We just figured we'd do it just straight on Rogue One, man. Which is okay. That's okay.
I mean, I can talk about this still for another 5 hours, but we don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, right.
So we'll leave here.
So
guys, I guess thanks for listening again. I mean, check us out on all our social medias again. Go to @EarthChildBook. Again, social media. Check out how the book is coming along. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/earthchild. That's where you can support the book. And again, if you support there, you'll get even more behind the scenes look. We'll send you fun stuff every month. So please help us out. Please help us finish this book a little sooner.
And we got a bunch of behind the scenes stuff too. For those of you that are following us, it's really hard. We're working on a lot of content. We haven't been putting much on our social media lately, but we are working hard behind the scenes. Yeah. So just kind of stay with us, guys. We'll be showing you some stuff here shortly, hopefully.
Yeah, the book's still coming along, so
we
still got plenty of stuff, and we're both working on stuff separately too. So I mean, heck, if 1 month we don't have something, we'll show a little secret something we're secretly working on.
Totally.
So I guess from there, we'll say goodbye, guys.
Right, and thanks. Glad to finally see the faces that match the voice.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see how this video goes.
Yeah, right. Out. Yeah, we'll lose followers.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I have a feeling something didn't work because this camera's now turned.
Yeah,
I think that one's off.
The show's on you.
Yeah, this show's a disaster. All right. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep.